What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jay, and I'm here with a video from PlayStation Grenade for Spider-Man 2, 20 Things You Should Know, final preview. Let's get into it.
Hello there! It's been 5 years since the original Marvel Spider-Man released on the PS4, and 3 since Miles became part of that Spider family. The next installment of the saga is coming to PS5 on October 20th. And here's everything you need to know before you play Spider-Man 2. Let's start with the story. Here on Earth 1048, Spider-Man 2 is set roughly 9 months after the Tinkerer came to town in Miles' adventure, or 19 months after the first time we filled the boots of Peter Parker. Why is that important? Well, all because of the story. Every event, every plot point, every fight scene from back then matters in Spider-Man 2. To help out with this, I've started releasing story breakdowns for each of the games, and the DLC too, so don't fret if you need a refresher, I have you covered. The core plot to Spider-Man 2 revolves around Norman Osborn and his desire to save his son Harry from a mysterious illness which has already claimed the life of his wife. And by the looks of things, the Venom symbiote will be the catalyst of Harry's survival. Elsewhere, a new enemy to this universe has arrived, Kraven the Hunter, who sees New York as the perfect playground to face off with the toughest heroes and villains the world has to offer. Meanwhile, Peter Parker has access to this new black suit, which seems to be corrupting him slowly. And strangely, at the preview event, Insomniac refused to call this a symbiote suit, and I don't know why. There will be a whole host of other villains in the story, but we'll talk about that a little later. Next, let's have a look at the combat system, which has seen a bunch of updates and upgrades. Miles and Peter are different Spider-Men, and they have different abilities to level individually. Miles has his unique bioelectric powers, which continue to evolve constantly. And now Peter has access to that symbiote suit with a whole new set of moves to master, thanks to those tendrils of venom. Then, on top of that, the pair have a shared upgrade tree for their tech-based powers. So whatever Peter unlocks is instantly unlocked for Miles too, and vice versa. And vice versa. The L1 and R1 buttons will control these abilities, with the left side representing the powers of that specific Spider-Man, and the right side being the tech upgrades available to both. Spider-Man 2 is completely a single-player game, but there is a great twist to that. Both Peter and Miles are playable at any point. Spider-Man 2 uses a quick swap mechanic to allow you to main your favourite Spider-Man, or keep switching between the two as you see fit. This won't be possible 100% of the time, as some story missions and side missions are only playable by one specific Spider-Man. For example, high school issues need to be solved by Miles. The rest of the time though, it's up to the player to decide who is their Spider-Man. Oh, and each time we switch, a unique animation will play out, kinda like those in GTA 5. What is more mind-blowing is that the other Spider-Man will still be getting on with crime fighting when you're not controlling them. It's possible to bump into them in the streets and even team up in a fight.
So you mean I could be doing something else and Miles over here sitting here
Another combat update is here for Spider-Sense,
with a bank robbery.
The glowing light around a
And I could
Spider-Man's
just pass
head
him on
as
the
they
street,
feel
seeing him
imminent
doing
danger.
it,
In
and still
Spider-Man
doing what I'm
2,
doing.
this skill will be used to warn players of unblockable attacks, shown in blue, which Peter and Miles should dodge, whereas a red tingle is a prompt to parry the attack and keep on swinging haymakers in return. It's only a subtle upgrade to the combat system, which should add a bunch of more timing-based variations to fights. Thanks to the SSD inside the PS5, the instant switching between Miles and Peter can be evolved into fast travel anywhere at all on the map. And I mean anywhere. After unlocking areas of the world, we can simply click somewhere on the map at random, and a second later, your chosen Spider-Man is already there. We have to unlock this ability, so it won't be there from our first moment, but what a cool mechanic all the same. This speed of loading is probably why the PS4 version is not possible this time around. With all this new real estate to explore, we need traversal options, and Spider-Man 2 does not disappoint. Firstly, our swinging animation is now a little quicker, allowing us to travel a little faster. Also around the world are catapult points on rooftops, which give Spider-Man an almighty speed boost nigh on immediately. And finally, every spider suit has has wings. Gliding is now possible, and to help out, there are wind traps and vents to be flown through to add more speed to your flight. Spider-Man 2 is simply rapid. With a larger map, a new progression system is required. That's where the district system comes in. The world is cut into areas or boroughs if you prefer, each of which have their own missions and unlocks. And once leveled up enough, that's when instant travel is unlocked. Something to work for, I guess. Marvel Spider-Man 2 continues to evolve its island with additional piers spotted in many trailers and newly constructed buildings after the explosive events of the Miles Morales story. Yet the map is now twice the size of the original with the addition of Queens and Brooklyn. Miles' Brooklyn Visions Academy is here, as too is Peter's old stomping ground at Midtown High. The most alluring new addition is the Coney Island Fun Fair, because I'm hoping for rideable roller coasters. Thanks to the PS5, it's now possible to increase the number of civilians around the city, both on foot and in their vehicles. Increased detail is everywhere, including in high-rise buildings. People can be going about their days inside their apartments, and we can see them through the windows. New York this time around is packed, but it's only New York when you hear,
"Hey, I'm walking here! Hey, I'm walking here!
Hey, I'm walking
We
here!"
have a few reports about the game length, which states Spider-Man 2 will be roughly the same length as the first game. That's according to Insomniac's Ryan Smith, which should put the main story at around 15 to 20 hours in length. To add to that is all the side content and dynamic events, which are much more plentiful this time around, which could add anything from 5 to 15 hours onto that playtime, making the Platinum Trophy around 30 hours to achieve. How do you feel about that? Does the length of a game impact your enjoyment? Every self-respecting Spider-Man fan loves alternative suits, and Spider-Man 2 does not let anyone down. We've had a few numbers confirmed by Insomniac. We'll have over 65 suits to unlock, from original designs, callbacks to the comic books, and of course the threads in iconic movies, like the symbiote suit from the Raimi movies. On top of that are variants. Almost all suits have 4 colour palette swaps on offer, so realistically there are over 200 suits in this game. Ranking them is going to be impossible. There is a little caveat to that information, which I can't decide is good or bad news. 10 suits are exclusive to the deluxe version of the game, which cannot be unlocked in the standard version. I fully expect the possibility of a paid upgrade in-game at a later date, but I thought you should know all the same, as some of these suits are straight up fire, arguably the best in the game.
At first I was like, that's kind of weird, but it's kind of cool.
The number of villains confirmed in Marvel Spider-Man 2 is jaw-dropping. Are you ready for this? We have Venom, Kraven the Hunter, Lizard, Black Cat, the Prowler, Kingpin, Mr. Negative, Scorpion, Tombstone, Wraith, and Taskmaster. And fans are predicting this chap here will be confirmed to be Mysterio. Miles and Peter are going to have their hands full keeping this city under control. But there's actually a few more villains here. Did you know there is a comic book which acts as a prequel to the events in Spider-Man 2? Here are a bunch of plot points. Check back next week if you'd like a real breakdown of this story. Basically, the Spider-Men fight 2 villains. The Tarantula, who is yet another Spider-Man, but not a good one like our heroes. He's defeated and sent to jail. And the second villain is the Hood, who commits petty theft to buy a magical tablet that he's told can cure his mother's cancer. Long story short, yeah, it fails. The real impact of this side story is for Triple J. J. Jonah Jameson has bought back the Daily Bugle again after a heated argument with Mary Jane, making him effectively her boss in Spider-Man 2. And finally, Peter is confirmed to live in Aunt May's house after her passing, but is struggling to pay the bills, mainly because he's decided to retrain as a teacher. Peter Parker is going to be a teacher. I did not see that one coming. And to end, let's just finish on a bunch of really small details confirmed about Marvel Spider-Man 2. Fall damage can be toggled on and off in the settings. Should you want a little more realism and gravitas to your swinging, then flick this switch and Peter and Miles could be falling harder than Gwen Stacy. Too soon? My bad. 4 graphical options have been confirmed, all of which use ray tracing for more realistic lighting and reflections. Above the standard 1080p, we have dynamic 4K at 30, 40 and 60 frames per second, depending on if you prefer the visuals to take priority or the fluidity of the movement. And to my surprise, there is a 1440p mode with a targeted 120 frames per second. Super smooth. Insomniac have showcased their superior accessibility options for gamers who want them, ranging from coloured outlines of heroes and villains to the speed of battles and the reaction times needed. Truly a game for anyone. The
Like,
DualSense controller
Blizzard
is
might be a little
confirmed to
bit
fully
smaller than
integrate
Venom, or
haptics
they
and
might
force
be the same
feedback,
size.
making triggers harder to push
They
when the
might be
character
about
on
the same
screen is
size.
having a tougher time. I quite like the example given of this, as the massive bell tolls, sending impactful reverberating ripples through the DualSense controller haptics. As the black suit twitches around Peter, as does the DualSense controller. Oh, it sounds good. My voice is really going now, and I think that's everything confirmed for Spider-Man 2. If I've missed something, let me know and I'll pin your comment. I'm Adam, thank you very much for watching. You're awesome.
And
No,
I'ma
you're
catch y'all in the
amazing.
next
No,
one.
you're
Y'all be
spectacular.
easy.
See ya.